October 8th, 1996. A sailing vessel is being torn apart in 15-foot waves. Rigging swinging all over. No safe way in. Rescue boats can't even get there. The helicopter crew can only watch from above. Then, suddenly, one of the two people on board is washed overboard right in front of them. So the call is made, send the rescue swimmer. Welcome to the Real ResQ Podcast, where we have real voices, real stories from those called to step forward in someone's worst day. A special thank you to our sponsors to help make this episode possible. Breeze Eastern, dedicated to the mission. They are the world's only dedicated helicopter hoist and winch provider. Check them out at breeze-eastern.com. Ready Bar, where one bar equals one meal. Other bars weren't designed to be a replacement meal. This one is. Go to getreadybar.com to learn more. And when you go to checkout, use the discount code RESQ10 for 10% off. And if you want to take advantage of even more savings, go to therealresq.com and check out our growing list of partners offering exclusive deals just for our audience. Save some money while supporting the companies that support this community. Up next, we go deeper into that mission. One that would earn our next guest the Air Medal. But for him, it was just another day in the office. This is the same guy who, as a kid in the city, had neighbors who would call him Farmer Brad for his love of animals. He bought his first Harley Davidson at 17, much to his mom's dismay. And he rode for over 45 years before finally hanging it up. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, United States Coast Guard rescue swimmer number 114, Mr. Brad Torrens. My name is Jason Quinn. I am United States Coast Guard rescue swimmer number 500. These are my rescues and rescues from those of us that put our lives on the line every day so others may live. This is the Real ResQ Podcast. Let's get her done. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Real ResQ. I have another United States Coast Guard rescue swimmer with me today. His name, Mr. Brad Torrens, rescue swimmer number 114. Woo, yeah. What's up, Brad? How are you, brother?
Hey, Jason. Hey, pretty good, brother. Thanks for having me.
Heck yeah. This is cool because you and I, we've had multiple conversations about this. I think your wife helped me to get you here. I'm just going to throw her like a bone and say, yep.
She did. Yeah.
And it was kind of funny. You and I were at the 40th anniversary, the reunion out in the Outer Banks of North Carolina. We had talked about it previously, and I'm like, oh man, I would love just bring some stuff with you. You come to me with this folder that was probably like 3 inches thick. Maybe that's exaggeration, but you know what? I'm going to tell everybody it was 3 inches thick, and it was awards, write-ups, news clippings, and there was so much in there, pictures, and I was like, Brad, this is awesome. And I want to start with this right away because I'm really psyched about this. It is literally, and I don't know, I might have seen one or two of these, but not very often. It's literally your retirement letter, and here's the number one on it. On 01 April 2006, you retire after more than 28 years of military service in the United States Coast Guard. Hoorah! Brad, thank you for coming on with me. I'm so excited to talk to you today.
I was gone for 30, but after Hurricane Katrina, I was like, I'm done. So.
Which we're going to talk about that. That's going to be like the way we're going to close this thing out. Hurricane Katrina. Oh my gosh. Okay. This is exciting. What are you doing right now that you're out?
I'm living the dream. My wife and I have a 33-acre farm outside of Hereford, North Carolina, just south of Elizabeth City for all you coasties. And
nice.
Raise Kiko goats and Kuni pigs, both from New Zealand. And it's awesome. It's very stress-free. I've always loved animals. My mom, when I was growing up, wanted me to become a vet, uh, but she meant veterinarian. I meant veteran. So, you know, I'm just enjoying life. My wife retires in a few weeks, so
Oh,
we'll be
congratulations to
here on the
her.
farm together. She's awesome. She's my soulmate. Uh, I go my human interdiction every week. I usually have coffee
One
with the
second.
guys in a coffee house down in
Hold on,
Elizabeth City,
Brad.
and we few retired swimmers,
What the heck?
Navy guys,
Hey, Brad, hold
and
on
we
one sec, buddy. Hold on.
go ahead.
My internet just kind of froze up on me.
Yeah,
Let me
you
get
were
rid of a.
frozen for a while.
Yeah, sorry. Hold on. Let me just
No
close out of
problem.
a couple things here to make sure that it's not trying to refresh anything. And okay, so the last thing I heard you say is your wife is about to retire, and then you froze up on me. So okay, so your wife is about to retire.
Yeah, and we're just gonna stay on the farm, and she does massage therapy, so we'll have some money coming in plus my retirement. It's all good.
So when you're out
I got
doing
four dogs.
like the whole farm work and saving animals
Yeah,
and stuff, if you throw out your back or you like tweaking a muscle, you'd be like, honey, I need help."
that,
You
yeah,
probably
you
do
read my
that now. What
mind.
am I talking about?
Yeah,
I would.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. If you're a swimmer more than 10 years, something's busted, something's messed up.
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
just the general consensus. How about
Yeah,
you?
totally. Oh yeah. There's aches and pains all over me. I love it. Lets me know I'm still young and I can still keep up. Well, maybe the
Yeah.
opposite. I'm getting older and I'm breaking down. I don't know.
You recover faster.
At the moment,
But
yes, and I will take full advantage of that. Yes.
yeah, take care of yourself. Take care of your
Yeah.
body because the older you get, trust me, it's a slow healing process. But yeah, she keeps me going. I drive around in my gator so I don't have to walk everywhere. So I don't get my
Nice.
10,000 steps in like I used to. I sold my last Harley 6 years ago and I had a John Deere Gator, and that's my fun,
Oh, that's awesome.
enjoying it.
I I might have to come out and like hang out with you on the farm for a little while. Next thing you know,
Hey,
you'll be
if
putting me
you're
to
in the Outer
work.
Banks area,
All
I
right.
told you when we first started, at the reunion or the anniversary, 40th anniversary. I said, come on over, but you had other commitments. You're a busy man. What can I say?
Yeah, I did. I well, my daughter was with me, so we had to get her back for work and whatnot. But yeah, it's all good. It's all
Yeah.
good. I just think I think you were inviting me over to like do the farm thing. I think you just needed an extra hand. I think that's what it was. I don't know, Brad.
Okay,
uh,
you found me out. Yeah,
my man.
yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't ask my wife to do much farm work, help on the farm unless I really need it, because she's a farm girl. She grew up on a farm in Iowa, and she went to college and got a degree to get off the farm. And, she worked for the Navy, and now she's retiring from the Coast Guard. Uh,
That's awesome.
and I don't really want to bother her. But if she sees me doing something stupid when I first started, she's like, don't do that. It'll kill you. I said, well, I'm used to living on the edge anyway, so it doesn't matter. I come in, blood running down my arms and stuff, and my
Yeah.
head, and
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine.
it's all
Minor
good.
flesh wound.
Just a flesh wound,
Well,
laddie.
Brad, what? Yeah, right. So, Brad, where are you from, and what brought you to joining the U.S. Coast Guard?
I grew up in a town called Ridley Park, Pennsylvania. It's just south of Philadelphia International Airport.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
you know, my dad was a machinist, tool maker, and my mom was a homemaker. And I started out working in machine shops when I was young, like 12. And then I'm like, this is too boring. I was an adrenaline junkie. I joined the fire department, and that was my dream job, to be a career firefighter. Get the adrenaline going. Loved helping people. So I was a firefighter in Ridley Park and then Engine 3 in Chester, which is like the hood. I was working in this machine shop and I'm like, one day I'm like, I'm going to join the Coast Guard and fly search and rescue out of the blue. And I was engaged
Okay.
at the time to my first wife. And and I went into the recruiter. Well, I did something really stupid. I quit my job and then I went to the recruiter. And he was like,
Okay.
you can't come in for 9 months. I'm filled up. I'm like, what do I do? And he's like, get another job. So 2 weeks later, I had a good union job and did that for a while, making micro switches. And then I said, see you later, and went into boot camp. I got married 3 weeks before I went into boot camp. So I was
Nice.
to my first wife, the mother of my kids, my three awesome kids. Yeah,
Awesome.
that was it.
Nice.
Went
Well,
in March.
like, what brought you to the Coast Guard in general? Did you see it like a movie or a TV commercial or
Uh,
something? Or
well, yeah, being from the Philadelphia area, from Philly, we used to go down the shore, Cape May, Wildwood, New Jersey, and you see the helos flying from Cape May down the beach doing the beach patrols,
oh yeah, yeah,
and
okay.
hey, that's pretty cool.
That's cool, man. All right, so you joined the Coast Guard, you get in, you actually went to because you wanted to go ASM because it was not rescue swimmers at the time. What year
Right, right.
did you come into the Coast Guard?
78.
Holy cow, 78. Should I tell you that that was the year I was born or
That's fine.
all right.
You want to hear the year I was born?
No,
I say
only if
mid
you want to
50s,
share it.
mid 50s. So
Yeah,
I
it's
was,
still looking
so I
good.
was,
What's up?
I was. Thank you. I was old when I went into boot camp compared to everybody else. And the one good thing is, since I was married, they didn't put me right on a ship. They sent me to Governor's Island, and I was going checking in, and the yeoman, because I figured I'd be in Sports Center, which is mowing lawns and painting. And the yeoman, I was talking to him. I go, "You got a fire department here?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, I was working on my fire sciences degree, before he came in, and I had this firefighting experience." He goes, "Go see the lieutenant." Lieutenant sent me down to the chief, fire chief, civilian, and talked to him for 3 or 4 hours. And he said, "Yeah, you can work here." So 24 on, 24 off.
Nice. Oh, you scored.
Yeah,
That's awesome. So
yeah,
then
it was good.
what brought you to aviation from there?
Uh, well, I was on the back then you could be on the couple school lists. I was on the damage control and I was on the ASM list, aviation survivalman. And so I was waiting that out and then I saw a notice on the board. My wife was, having a hard time. We lived in Fort Hamilton, Brooklyn, which is Army base, and it was not a nice place. And I was gone all the time. So there's a mutual for the alert in Cape May. I said, I'll go to Cape May. So I mutually traded jobs with for the ship, did time on the ship, like
Yeah.
9 months, and my school came up and I was gone. Went to Lakehurst, New Jersey, Navy Parachute Rigger School.
Nice.
Because there was only 112 guys in our rate, so we didn't actually have an A school, so we used the Navy's Parachute Rigger School.
Yeah.
Uh, it was kind of a waste of time, but
Really?
in aviation, you had to have an A school. You couldn't strike.
Oh
So I
yeah, yeah,
did
yeah.
that
Okay.
and I was A school, went to Cape Cod.
In my
Yeah,
neck
I
of the
do too. A
woods.
little chilly for me, but I love it. Yeah. And I, f- I flew H-52s as a flight mech, and I flew H-3s a little bit as just an observer, helper for logistics flights up to Maine.
Okay.
All the lighthouses were manned back then. They're not automated. So we had to drop food off to them every 2 weeks. Flew out there. Beautiful.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I was in the syllabus for H3, but my 4-year plan was to be an H-52 flight mech so that I can sneak my way into Cape May Air already qualified.
Right on.
So, yeah. And, yeah. Cape Cod was nice. They were pretty busy. we had goats there too, the seaplanes, HU-16Es. That was
Oh
the last
yeah,
unit
Joe
that
Acosta was
that
talking
had the
about
goat.
those. That yeah, I didn't. I like at the time. I didn't even know we had those, and until I talked to him, he's like, "Oh yeah, I was qualified on all that." And I'm like, "I what?
Yeah,
That's pretty cool."
yeah,
Right
we had
on.
the last six, and like I regret to this day that I didn't ever want to fly in them because it's like, you can't say, hey, I flew in those, I can't say that,
Right.
I can't have that experience. Uh, but and there's two separate air stations in Cape Cod. There was the fixed wing side, which is where the goats were. That was the air. They were with the Air National Guard side, where the Air National Guard jets were, and then
Okay.
the helo side. And then the helos, we had 52s and H3s. Didn't make sense to me, but
Huh.
they'd launch them both on a SAR case. And the 52s, we'd be launched in 8 minutes, and it'll take like 20 some minutes to 20 25 minutes for an H3, and we'd be gone. The H3 still be out there, and like 20 minutes later, man, they'd pass us like we were standing still. We'd be sitting there.
See
I'd
you,
be sitting there
boys.
backwards. Yeah.
That's
So
pretty funny.
that was silly to have those airframes, but it was a good crew.
That's cool,
Aviation was
man.
fun.
So while you're in Cape Cod, you obviously like while you're there, you end up as an ASM. You're packing parachutes, you're running pumps, you're doing the basic aviation life support stuff. But you guys were also getting qualified as flight mechanics.
Right. Yeah,
Nice.
you had to go through the syllabus. You had to know the airframe. You had to know the systems. You had to, just be comfortable with the systems. ASMs we're not mechanics per se, so we don't like change engines or, transmissions or work on the airframes. But we work on our gear, so we were responsible for the flotation system,
Yeah.
uh, all the seats, all the anything had to do with survival, aviation survival, any piece of equipment in there. We had to hand fabricate everything, uh, like the weight bags for the trail lines. We had to fabricate the trail lines, the floats on the Stokes flitters. We had to hand. That's one thing that Navy parachute rigger school taught me is how to sew. You had to know how to sew,
Which is kind of
and
awesome.
it
It's one
comes
of
in
the
handy.
little things, yeah, that we get to do as rescue swimmers is we get to sew. And I
Yeah.
think it's a trait that is really, really good to have. And most people don't know that we're little seamsters, tailors,
Oh
whatever.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
The younger guys don't.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
Do they not do it anymore?
They do, but everything like has a stock number. You just order
Ah, jeez, rookies.
it. I mean, they still do. I mean, because I had to do the flight suits. I had to repair all the flight suits and
Yeah,
sew the patches and maintain all that stuff.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
it's more right now. The swimmer program is like they're, obviously, when you were operational, a lot of training, a lot of
Oh
training, a
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
training. So it's like people say, "Oh man, it looks like you make it so easy." I say, "Yeah, because it's not easy, but it's just muscle memory and
Yeah.
then muscle memory. But then you have to think on your feet and go to plan B and C,
Yep.
and a lot of good crew coordination as a swimmer. Good crew coordination to the flight mech, the pilots, all talking to each other. Everybody's got to be on the same plane, on the same page, because if somebody, misinterprets it, goes right instead of left, somebody's going to get hurt
Yeah.
or worse.
Agreed. Yeah.
It's crazy, but it's
Yeah.
awesome too.
Yeah.
It's an
It's
adrenaline rush.
it's the adrenaline rush you were looking for as a fireman.
Yeah,
So all right, so
yeah.
when you got qualified, do you remember your very first rescue as a flight mechanic?
My very first one was a pump drop, sinking boat. drop the pump. That's it.
Right on. Hey,
Yeah,
that's
just
awesome.
oh yeah,
Like,
it was awesome when I did it the first time. After the 100th time, it gets a little, but yeah,
that's
yeah,
cool.
it's
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, man.
we had a lot of medevacs too, but mainly the H3s took the heavy medevacs because they had room. They had room and they had power. Uh,
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh,
yeah.
H3 was a
I'm
pretty
flying in a
beast of an aircraft.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So I did not
yeah. It
get
was
the
like
opportunity to
a
fly on
Greyhound
that, but
bus.
I wish I had.
Yeah,
Man, that thing. Oh,
yeah, they
awesome.
were cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
because well, H3 H52 is one engine and with 1850 shaft horsepower, and then it was big inside compared to the 65. You flew 65s. I don't know if you flew 60s, but
I did. I did. I
uh,
got a chance to fly
si-
in both.
and they were, how small those 65s are. I'll go into that later probably, but I'll whine about that later. But yeah,
As two big guys, they're kind of a pain in the neck.
yeah, I'm 6'2". You're six,
Uh-huh.
probably a little
Four.
taller than me.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, gotta try to change in the back of a freaking H65. It's a pain in the ass, is what it is. But
yeah,
that's all right.
yeah,
So there are a couple other
yeah,
rescues that stand out to you as being a flight mechanic. There are three of them that I want to talk about. The first one is when you it was a duck hunter that you guys had to go recover. What was that?
yeah. We it's in the winter, and we launched out on a duck hunter and in the intercoastal in Cape May, New Jersey, and we flew out and we searched and searched and searched, and finally we're almost bagged out. We reached our 6 hour flight limit, and the tide went down. So in the intercoastal, it's like little snake. It goes down like 4 feet, and it's like little snake rivers all over. And we're just cruising along real slow, searching these things, and the pilot's like, "I got him." And I'm sitting backwards. So I look out and I'm going, okay. So he was floating on his back, unconscious. So we landed on the marsh next to him, and then I, got out, and I had to like jump down, like 3 feet onto this little swampy area, and this guy was big. Plus, he had like 3 inches of insulation on him. And
Yeah.
I fall in the water. Both my legs go in the water up to almost my knees. So I get out of that. I get him up on the shore, drag him over to the helo, get him in the plane. Pulse, no respirations. Start doing CPR. This is before masks and all that stuff. Doing CPR. Pukes all in my face, inside of my helmet.
Oh,
So it's like,
jeez. Oh,
get through that a little bit. I'm doing CPR, get to the hospital, and hospital crew comes out, and this nurse, she gets to the door, and she starts yelling at me for not using a mask, and I was just ready to come across and just like hurt her.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like I'm
You don't
frozen.
even know,
I'm,
lady.
you don't even know, lady. If you were 2 feet closer, I was tired. Then we get back. We drop them off. We get back. And we were in the bag, so they called in another crew, and I couldn't feel my bottom of my feet. I couldn't feel my feet. I had to unlace my shoes I didn't want to cut my shoelaces. I unlaced my boots, and it's hard to believe, but my feet from like below my knees were purple. The skin was purple, like real
What?
purple. And I couldn't feel my feet or anything, and I'm going, oh. So I was already relieved. So I sat in the engine shop and warmed up my feet for, I don't know how long, and
Dang.
never
Just because
said
of the
anything
water that you jumped into?
never said anything to anybody.
Oh my gosh, man.
Yeah,
Brad,
it's
what
like,
the heck? Was that just because you jumped into the water?
yeah, I fell into the water, and the water it was salt water, so it wasn't frozen, but it was below freezing. You know what I mean? It
Oh
was
my
probably 20,
gosh.
28 degrees, something like that.
Oh my gosh.
And
You were
then I
freezing.
think that's the time I went. One of the pilots drove me home, so that was a good thing. Oh, my car wouldn't start. I come back the next morning. It was like 17 degrees out that day. Come back the next morning. I was going to change my antifreeze and started the car. My block froze and cracked
Oh
in my
my
car. So
God,
yeah, it
no.
was like it was a good duty day.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah,
Brad, I'm so
the
sorry to
scoop
hear
just
that.
started coming out my carburetor. Yeah, it was crazy. Back then, like on a duty day, after you did your 8-hour work day and you were there for 24 hours, you could bring your car in, you could wash and wax it, change your oil, whatever, as long as you did not block the ready plane.
Yeah.
Those days are gone. Those happy days are gone. But so, and on a Saturday, guys would come in and there'd be like 8 cars in the hangar. Yeah,
Wow.
it was good. It was a good
That's
time.
awesome. That's cool. So this other one that you were talking about just so happened. So you get this you got a rescue on January 2nd that stands out to you as well. What an interesting date to get launched out on. What happened?
Yeah, I was in Corpus, and I was a flight mech, H-52 flight mech, and right after, after the holiday routine, and my parents were down visiting us in Corpus, and I had duty the second. I come in for duty, and the weather was horrific. It was horrible. I mean, waves are smashing over the seawall, and I'm like, there's no way in hell we're going to be flying today. I, you know, I and I mean, we have a helicopter with one engine, no radar. You know, well, the SAR alarm goes off, and we went flying,
Oh my
and it
gosh.
turns out to be a fisherman, Mexican fisherman in the Gulf, down towards the border, down near Brownsville, Port Isabel, and they were sinking. So we flew out. I had 2 pumps with me. Flew out, found them, dropped the pumps, came back, and that was like, I mean, it was a tough hoist. Uh, you know, a, a shrimper, the outrigging, flying all over.
Yeah.
It was a tough hoist at night, and got back. We had to go back for fuel, and they were still sinking, and they wanted to go to Port Isabel to pick up a P250 pump, which is huge. And so we go to Port Isabel. At this, all during this time, a 44-footer, motor surf boat that can roll over and still keep running. They didn't even make it out. They couldn't make it out of the inlet, so they turned back. And an 82-foot patrol boat came out, and the 82 is on their way to this shrimper. And so we get the P250 loaded. It's got these 2 big gas cans. The ship guys know what they are. I mean, they're huge, and I
Yeah.
used all my trail lines already. So we get out there, and we're waiting on the 82-footer to get out. Well, let me back up a little bit. Before we left the boat, they needed 2 more life jackets. They were 2 life jackets short, and we had 1 life jacket spare. So the aircraft commander is like, "One of you two, I got to fly the plane. One of you two guys got to give up your life jacket, our life vest."
Yeah.
And it got real quiet, and I'm like, "Oh shit, holy Jesus." And I said, "I'll do it." I hooked those 2 life jackets onto the last trail line I had, lowered it down, got it caught in the rigging. It got blown into the rigging, and we left. Get the pump loaded at the small boat station, and we're coming back, and they were gone. We went back where we left them, and they were like, they're gone. And
Holy cow.
so so we're searching around, and we actually had icing on the sponsons in the Gulf of Mexico. And
Wow.
we're searching. All of a sudden, from one of the light vests, we hear the PRC go ding, ding, ding. The locating beacon. They figured out how
Yeah.
to work it. Turned on the beacon. We homed in on them and found them. And then we actually guided the 82-foot patrol boat. Lost its radar in the seas and cracked its hull.
Holy
It was pretty bad.
shit.
Yeah, it was bad. I got a lot of respect for those guys. And so we directed them to the boat, and then we had to split. We went to Brownsville, Texas, on the border, shut down for the night. We were in the bag, and they took the boat in tow, but eventually sank. And when I was out, I digress a little bit. When we went out the second time with the P-250, aircraft commander's like, "Hey, Brad, can we pull this off?" And I'm like, "Nope." Said, "I don't have any more trail lines left, and there's no way I could get on the boat." And he goes, "Okay." And we went back, landed, and spent the night. And we came out the next morning. The scary part is, and that's the one time I was actually, two things happened. First of all, I gave up my life vest. That's like giving up your whoopee, that's what
Yeah.
you train with. You're
Right.
comfortable. Even if you go in the water, you know, you know the stuff, and that's stripped away from you. And then, and it was pretty intense. And then when I was out there, I felt this, lack of a better term, I know what it was, but the Holy Spirit, man, just came over me, and I was like totally calm. It's like, okay, this is cool, I'm good. And then we turned back. It's like that. This total calmness came over me. Went back, landed Port Isabel.
That's
The next
awesome.
morning, we go out to the plane, and there's transmission fluid all down the side. We had a transmission leak. So bottom line, if we would have went out there the third time, we would have ran out of transmission fluid, and our gearbox would have seized, and they wouldn't have been finding pieces of us bigger than a bread box. So it was, and they put us in for air medals, but they got bumped down because the aircraft commander exceeded the limitation of the aircraft, so he got his PP whacked,
Oh my
and
gosh.
that was crazy.
So you guys got put in for air medals for this, and because they
Yeah, they put
overtook the
in
aircraft.
me and the aircraft commander for an air medal, and then the co-pilot for I think an achievement medal.
Wow.
And,
Oh
it
my
was,
gosh.
but back then, you just did it. You didn't really expect any medals or any awards.
Yeah.
It was just, and back then it was like, well, you're just doing your job. Well, true, but still, it's just crazy. It was awesome. And then you got to go home the next day like nothing happened. Hey, honey, I'm home.
Yeah. Oh
Take a
yes.
long shower.
Yes.
And,
Oh, do it again
hey,
tomorrow.
Mom, Dad, I could have died last night, but that's okay.
Yeah. But it's good to see you. Hey, let's get together for lunch.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, and then you got to go coach a softball game or a basketball game or something. Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Well, in that case, you know what? We breezed over one of your medals when you were in Cape May, and if it's all right, I'd like to get into this because this is the first one you earned before that rescue.
Right.
So here's what this one is:
Mm-hmm.
citation to accompany the award of the Coast Guard Combination Medal to Bradley J. Torrens, Aviation Survivalman, Second Class, United States Coast Guard. Petty Officer Torrens is cited for outstanding achievement while serving as a crew member of Coast Guard helicopter H-52 on 1418, engaged in a perilous rescue of an injured crewman from the fishing vessel Margaret Rose, 55 miles northeast of Atlantic City, New Jersey, under extreme poor weather condition characterized by low visibility, 6-foot seas, and wind gusting to 30 knots. The vessel's rigging, which stood nearly 60 feet above the deck, did not provide a clear hoisting area. Pastor Torrens threaded the trail line through the maze of rigging and painstakingly lowered the Stokes litter to the deck. When the crew moved the litter nearly 20 feet to the patient without disconnecting it from the cable, his calm, assured commands aided the pilot in maintaining a safe position over the wildly pitching and rolling vessel for more than 6 minutes. Once the patient was placed in the litter, Pedastro Torrens began the most critical phase of the rescue, hoisting the fisherman through the moving maze of the rigging. Shortly after, the litter cleared the rigging and the tending line was let go by the crew and became fouled 8 feet above the deck. Pedastro Torrens' directions to the pilot prevented danger to the patient while the crew scrambled to free the line. With the patient safely aboard, he comforted and stabilized the patient, administered oxygen, and immobilized a bleeding compound fracture of the patient's right arm. Pedastro Torrens' professional skill was instrumental in the successful evacuation of the patient. Pedastro Torrens' dedication, judgment, and devotion to duty are most heartily commended and are in keeping with the highest traditions of the United States Coast Guard. Oh man, Brad, first freaking medal ever. That's insane. Dude, I can picture the whole thing too, man. Like the litter going down. Next thing you know, you're pulling it out, and the guys on the deck, they let it go because they don't know what the heck they're doing. Gets wrapped up in something. You're like, ah, oh. Okay. All right, bring us from the get-go. How was the call out? What happened?
That was actually my first big SAR case.
Okay.
It was a nice day in Cape May, during a normal work day. Weather was nice, beautiful. The helo comes back from a routine trainer early, and they told me to go up to late ops, to basically get a brief. And what happened was that I was the only qualified emergency medical technician at the air station. We had medevac corpsmen, but apparently the hoist was going to be too scary and too dangerous that they didn't want to risk a corpsman. So the flight mech came back. Well, the healer came back. Mike Judas, the flight mech, I bumped him off. Sorry, Mike. And I got on. We flew out. And the skipper, the CO of the base, was the aircraft commander. And the skippers don't usually fly a whole lot. So that, they're not super, super proficient, because they're the boss.
Right.
And so we fly out there and we get off the coast, and it's like 50-foot visibility. It's so foggy out there. It's unbelievable. So we're flying like 60 feet off the ocean, and we're in an aircraft with no radar. So the Margaret Rose, once we got in the radar sight, they actually conned us in to the back of the Margaret Rose. So they conned us in right up to the not right up to the stern, within 100 feet. The visibility was bad, and so we did the brief, total crew coordination. I put the litter out. I put the trail line down. Put the litter down. And, the mast, like I was saying, the mast is swinging back and forth. And so I'm like, whipping it around and keeping it out of the antennas and stuff. I get it on deck, and then these guys pick it up and just haul it up to the wheelhouse under all this rigging. And I'm like, I'm telling the pilot what's going on. I'm not raising my voice. I'm talking just like now. And they put the guy in the litter, and then they're standing there looking up. Like, I can't drag this guy across the deck and up. So I'm doing the hand thing, and then they finally get the hand to pick him up. So I start bringing him up, and I one thing about the H-52, the hoist was like super slow. It's like, that's how slow it was. It's pathetic.
Like 50 feet a minute.
It was like, yeah. And so I start bringing this guy up. Trail line's still on deck. So he's coming up, and a rogue wave hits, and the boat just comes up at us. I mean, it just comes up, and it's almost hits us. And I'm like, up, up, up. And the pilot's pulling everything he can get, and the mast just cleared underneath by maybe 5 feet from knocking us out. And then the guy's still in the litter, and I'm trying to be cool about it. I'm bringing him up, and the mast hit his foot, hit the litter at the feet, and he starts spinning, so blood's flying everywhere. I get him in the door, slide him in the back, trail line, I got rid of that. And then I started reversing his shock. I gave him oxygen. His arm was splinted with a Time magazine magazine. They
No
splinted his
way.
arm with a Time magazine. I mean, it was a real cheesy thing, but it held the parts together. And I
Wow.
reversed the shock. He was coming out of it, but on the way back, he didn't remember anything. And the thing about like the skipper and his flying, he was rock solid, man. He was rock solid. And the one thing I'll note is that he flew combat search and rescue as a exchange pilot with the Air Force during Vietnam. Yeah,
Damn.
Lance Egan, Captain Lance Egan. He's a good skipper and an awesome pilot, and that was pretty wild. And then a few months later, and I'm thinking all this time, we get back and everything's calmed down. I'm like, man, cool. I'll get a Sikorsky Rescue Award out of this, which is, people who don't know that the Sikorsky factory sends you a big certificate for rescuing, using their helicopters for rescuing. I thought that was the greatest thing in the world. I get a certificate.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to inspection, and my parents are there. Nobody said nothing.
Oh
And
my
my
gosh.
parents are there, and my wife and kids, and they presented me with that accommodation medal there, and everybody knew it on the hangar deck, and nobody said anything. I was totally
Wow.
surprised.
Oh, that's awesome. As
Yeah,
a matter of fact, I'm going to throw another little shout out to this because you actually made the paper with this where it literally says personnel inspection and award ceremony held at Air Station Cape May. And then down a little lower, just under the picture, there's you. Aviation Survivalman Second Class Bradley Jade Torrens is shown receiving the Commendation Medal from Captain Lawrence Egan for the perilous rescue of an injured crewman of the sailing vessel Margaret Rose. Well done, sir. Oh my gosh. Like you running us through that, I understand exactly what you're saying when okay, there's a lot of things I want to debrief with this. Is that okay if I dive into this a little further?
oh man, go for it.
All right. So as a hoist operator, right, you're sending your stuff down, and the first thing that the guys on deck, because they don't know, is now they're grabbing the litter, still connected to the helicopter, walking up underneath all the rigging. Right as you're telling me this, I'm going mental. I'm like, oh my god, oh, this is not good, because now you're stuck. So there's only two ways to get out. Well, three ways to get out of that. Number one is you cut the cable, right? Number two is you hit the squib button and you blow the cable.
Hmm.
Or number three, they walk it back to that clear area. Other than that, you're entangled. The pilot can't go anywhere. You can't go anywhere. You're spitting cable out as fast as you can as they're walking it up the deck. That's crazy. The other flip side of that is that's why I love having a rescue swimmer or a guy that's trained that can go down and manage helicopter cable for us. Oh, it is such a blessing to have that. So when you've
Yeah,
got
yeah,
medical crew or a swimmer or somebody that knows what the heck they're doing, it's a game changer on the ground, or on this case on the vessel, for sure. Okay, I went on my soapbox for Brad. Sorry.
that's fine, man. That's awesome, Jason.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's insane. That's crazy. Good for you, man.
We
You
do
and
it
the
every
whole
day.
crew.
It's another day at the office. It's just some days are better than others. But yeah,
And
it's all
then
about the training. All about the training.
totally is. That's it. It's another reminder for me personally of what the Coast Guard, and I use the term general as in the Coast Guard, was doing well before the rescue swimmer program. Like, it was not uncommon to see and deal with what everybody's dealing with now. Back then, they just didn't have a swimmer. You didn't have
Mhm.
somebody to go down at the time, and
Yeah,
figured it out. It's just what you guys had to do.
yeah. If
Holy
you had to
shit,
put somebody
Brad!
in the water, We would put the co-pilot in the water but if it had to be a real nice day and real nice calm. But
Yeah.
I got lowered as a flight mech. The aircraft commander lowered me to a boat to do CPR on the guy because the corpsman who was doing CPR was seasick. He couldn't do it. And we were, and I'm the flight mech, and he's like, it was Commander Paul Lang. He's like, hey, Brad, would you have a problem with me, putting you down on the deck? Beautiful day, it's a beautiful day, flat calm. I go, no, sir. So he put me down, because he can control the hoist too from the cockpit. So he lowers me.
What?
He lowers me down. This is funny. He lowers me down. I start doing CPR. This corpsman's puking his guts out. I'm doing CPR on this dude. And, it's really bad when it was like a sport fisherman. So the son is there and probably his brother and it was bad. I had to ride the boat all the way in. So we're almost in and we're pulling up to the dock and I'm doing CPR for maybe half hour. I'm hurting, I'm sore. And as soon as they start coming up, the corpsman pushes me out of the way and he goes, "Okay, I got it." I was like,
no
"Oh, you
way.
butthead." So,
I think I'm more in awe that the pilot used the pilot controls up front and said, "Yeah, just connected the cable, and I'm gonna put you down. I'm just gonna look out the window or whatever, and when you get on deck, I'll stop." What the heck?
Yeah, it's a one-way trip. You go down and he can't pick you up.
Yeah, no way.
So this is fun. It was Lieutenant Commander Paul Lang.
That, Brad.
Yeah, he a couple months later we're at inspection, and he gets up to the podium. He goes, calls me up in front. I'm standing at attention in front of him, and he tells what happened, and then he goes, "This case of Heine is for you. Let me risk your Heine." And he gave me a case of Heineken. That's the best award I ever got, man.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's the old guard. That stuff don't happen anymore, but maybe it does. I hope it does.
Oh my God. Oh.
But yeah, that was pretty cool.
What's really funny to me is like I've actually briefed that in the helicopter. Let me rephrase that. I've tried to convince my pilots to just put me down. Just roll into like a 30, 40 foot hover and just I'll be on like some sort of like, I don't know, some radio, and I'll just tell you, yep, still go down, out. Okay, I'm on the ground. Bring it back in.
Oh yeah, when doing direct deployments?
Just in general. I just want to be the only guy in the cabin and then them lower me out with the pilot controls. I've always wanted to do that. Yeah. But everybody looks at me like I'm crazy. Yeah. And now I know it's happened.
It's happened. And you know what? There's no photographic evidence of any of this because none of it existed. We didn't have cameras in the hoist. We didn't have cameras everywhere.
No. Oh man. Yeah. So the stories live just with you. I'm good with it. Damn, man. Brad, I'm glad you shared those. Holy cow. All right, I got to change gears though a little bit because now it's about time in your career where the Marine Electric happens, and now all of a sudden they're gonna implement the rescue swimmer program. You're already an ASM, so you get the letter saying either go to school or find a new job. Go.
Or get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to divert real quick to thank our sponsors. At Breeze Eastern, they are inspired by the courage of search and rescue teams around the world. Their passion is to support their life-saving missions with advanced technology that delivers unmatched performance, reliability, and efficiency. Because heroes deserve equipment they can trust when lives are on the line. Visit them today at breeze-eastern.com.
Yeah, it was at the Marine Electric, it came out, the letter. They kept saying, okay, all the ASMs are going to be rescue swimmers. because you work on the survival gear anyway, so you know. And half the guys are like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And as it gets closer and closer, it was January 1st of 1990 when everybody had to be qualified or do
Okay.
one of those things. So I wasn't in great shape, but I wasn't a couch potato either. I mean, I never smoked or anything like that. And I said, yeah, I'll go to this lifeguard school. And I went, and
Lifeguard
me and Steve
school.
Jutras went. They kicked our butt, man. I thought they were trying to kill us. They just, and it was tough. It was tough. And the funny thing is, I was the first class. So,
Nice.
so,
Nice.
and me and Steve and we get there like on Monday morning where we're supposed to report. But the Navy guys, everybody else is Navy, they've been there since Friday because they just went through a basic air crew and went to just jump the sidewalk.
Oh, yeah.
So Steve and I show up, and there's a first class, an E6, and me, and we're like, well, who's because one of us has to be class leader, you know. When did you make? So I was senior, he was, junior to me, so I was the class leader. Class leader, get your butt chewed constantly, but the thing is that you're doing the multis and the training. You go first. I mean, back when I went through, the class leader and assistant class leader always went first. So there's an advantage to that. They give you a little bit of leeway of screwing up, just a little bit.
Ah, okay.
But the rest of the class is watching you, so they're watching everybody else. So by the time 5 or 6 guys go through, oh, that's what they're into the groove of it, even though we're still getting our butt handed to us.
Yep.
Choked out, drowned, beat up, whatever. It was a harsh school, but yeah. So then I went back to Cape May. So I was like, and then we started getting guys in because there's just 2 of us. My first tour, our first class, and me, and then we started getting guys in from school and from A school and stuff, and we had 5 guys and a chief for each
Wow.
small air station, which is Cape May, three
Yep.
helicopter unit. So chiefs had the option of being a swimmer or not. My chief, Tom Schollenberger, great guy. He was a little older than me, and he's like, "Oh hell no, I'm not doing it." And that's fine. He was great to work
Yeah.
for. He wasn't downplaying us. And so we just trained and trained and trained and went online. We went online 2 hours after Brooklyn did. We were kind of racing to send the message of who went online first,
Yeah, yeah.
because Brooklyn was right up the street. Then it's the hard push for, okay, you're a swimmer. Pilots aren't used to putting people out of the plane because, hey, what about if you die? My career's over. The little career
Yeah.
warning light starts flashing.
Yeah.
They were
Right.
not comfortable. So it was
Right.
basically the first year or so. It's like, get in the back, sit down, shut up. That was it. It was not fun. Uh, it was okay, but they didn't use us. And then the one time we had a Marine Corps pilot, Pat Merrigan. He flew CH-53s in Marine Corps during the invasion of Grenada. He may have been the one that got shot down or something, but he was a really cool guy. He's like, we were going to like one of my first cases with him. He's like, okay, Brad, it was a pump drop. I remember this. Okay, Brad, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get on scene, going to put you down, put the pump down to you. You get it going on, going to pick you up, go home. Yes, sir. And that
Heck yeah.
improved the comfort level of the other pilots.
That's awesome. And that was one of your
So
first ones as a swimmer?
that was one of my first cases as a swimmer, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
And another
buddy.
one in Cape May. You remember when, I don't know if you were when every time you deployed a swimmer, training or reel, you had to send a message to headquarters?
I think that was past when I was in. So you gotta remember, I graduated in 2000, so we were just transitioned. We had
Okay.
just transitioned to AST. Now, what did come out is every time there was some sort of mission, a message came out, and they talked
Right,
about
right.
it, especially if a swimmer was used. So I
Yeah.
remember like Olaf Lavelle and George Cavallo, the senior
Uh-huh.
and chief at the time, like almost every day they'd be, hey, new message is out, boop, pin it up, read it, Roger that. I'm
Oh,
not
yeah.
sure I ever did, but like, yeah,
In
yeah.
the yeah, in the beginning, every swimmer deployment was a message was sent out. What type of deployment, what was used, what the weather was, blah blah blah. So whether training or not. So we're in
Wow.
Cape May, and I got duty, and this storm squall comes out of nowhere. I mean, it was a bad squall. It comes out of nowhere, and there was a fishing championship or fishing competition in the Delaware Bay. So there was like 1,000 boats out there, 20 footers. The squall capsized like 10 of them in like 15 minutes. So we had
Oh,
all these
geez.
maydays going off, and we launch out. We go to the first boat, and there's two people missing. So we go to the first boat. I deploy, swim over to the boat. And you still got big swells. You still like 5 or 6, 7 feet, just swells. And I grabbed the side of the boat, and I'm going around on the inside. Well, I had the side of the boat and went up and came down, and it just like crushed me into the water, like on my shoulder blades, just like a big hand just crushing me, driving me
Holy
under the
cow.
water. And I'm like, oh, I'm not going to do that again. So I started working around. It was, and search for a body, no body. But I was under the water so long that the pilots are like freaking out. They thought I was gone.
Oh,
So
wow.
ever since then, they sent the message saying that you will not enter a boat, blah, blah, blah. So
That's
that's
because
because of me.
that's your fault.
That's because my fault. Yeah. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
always a reason something's written. And you know what? If you get a policy written because of an action that you did, either congratulations or, man, you really screwed up. One of the
Yeah.
two.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And then we launched two planes too, but we only had one swimmer. So the CO was on the other plane. So the plane I came on went to another boat, and the CO picked me up. Then we went to another boat, and then we kind of hopscotched, and
Wow.
didn't find
Man,
anybody. But
but they worked you. Holy cow. Damn, man.
I did 3 tours in Cape May. So
Oh, wow.
uh,
Nice. So
so
where'd you go after that tour in Cape May?
that tour I went to San Diego, and then from San
Nice.
Diego I went back to Cape May, and then closed Cape May and opened Atlantic City.
Nice. All right. Right on. Okay. So I know there's one thing that stands out to you while you were in San Diego, but are there any other rescues that might have stand out to you or anything you might have done that was like, oh my gosh?
Not really. We were pretty busy in San Diego, surprisingly. I know you did Jason Osborne's interview.
Yeah.
He had a lot of good cases. Yeah, he was a good guy. San Diego was. I got, I guess, a funny story. Every Wednesday, the shop, with the exception of the duty guy, would go to La Jolla Cove and do long distance ocean swims, swimming in the kelp, and then we'd swim in the caves. And
Oh,
so we're up,
that's
and
awesome.
we'd swim in the line, so we're like in the line, and Mario Marini was and took point that day, and he's swimming, and we're going into the cave, and he's we're about 20, 30 feet apart, and he comes sprinting out of the cave as fast as he could paddle, and he's screaming, it's a seal, it's a seal, and it's pissed. And we're like, stop everything. So that's what we heard. Okay. We heard that. Okay. What it actually was a moray eel. He was swimming, and this moray eel comes right up into his face, like, and he
Oh my
freaks out.
God.
And I don't blame him. So he was out there. We would
God.
do ocean swims, and then Tuesdays we do cliff rescue, when that came about. Uh, the one I didn't rescue him, but we launched out on a surfer in distress that came over from Tijuana around the border fence on the ocean. So we got diverted to that, and we got the swimmer, and he was like almost on the beach. So we're like hovering, and he's like starts running, and I'm like to the pilot and going, "You want me to hunt him down and see what's the problem?" And we were almost out of gas. He goes, "No, we're low fuel, man. We're almost bingo. We got to go." I go, "Okay." So we go back to base. This surfboard had about 85 pounds of pot in it. It was
Oh,
about a
no
foot
way.
thick. Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh. Gee.
yeah. It's in San Diego. We come into work one day and there's a dead guy laying on the counter because nobody would claim him. It was an issue. Like, you know, I
What?
don't know the whole thing, but yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Or they were waiting for him to pick him up. The ambulance wouldn't take him, and
That's gotta be a weird
I'm
day to
sure
come
this
into work
happens.
like, hey,
Hey,
why,
coming to
there's
work.
a
Hey,
guy, there's a dead guy on the
yeah,
table. What the heck?
yeah.
Can we please
What's
do
up with
something
that?
with this? Can somebody make a
Whose
phone call,
uncle's that?
please? Yeah, right. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Man, Brad, the things we see, dude. What the heck? All right, so
Yeah.
being you talked about a bit of immigration and come around the border, there's you actually got deployed out of there, and this is let me read the letter of accommodation here, which is awesome. And then I would love to hear about
Okay.
this because you were on there for like 2 weeks. So here it is. Letter of accommodation. I know with pride and am pleased to commend you of your performance of duty while assigned to the aviation detachment aboard the Coast Guard cutter Venturous during Operation Jade from 20 February 1992 to 3 March 1992. During this period, you worked closely with the other Coast Guard surface units and special agents from the Immigration and Naturalization Service. Your airmanship skills greatly enhanced the covert surveillance and ultimately the interdiction and seizure of the Taiwanese fishing vessel Tai Zahai, and the U.S. cabin cruiser Liberated Lady. Both of these vessels were engaged in an illegal operation of transferring a number of undocumented aliens from the People's Republic of China to the United States. You directly participated in the takedown of the Tai Zahai and the arrest of its crew members. This operation resulted in the detention of 87 illegal aliens, the arrest of 17 smugglers, and the seizure of the Liberated Lady and Tai Zahai. This operation was the largest Pacific Maritime illegal alien interdiction in terms of individuals arrested and detained and vessels seized. You're commended for your outstanding performance of duty. By your meritorious service, you have upheld the highest traditions of the United States Coast Guard. Dang, Brad, what the heck?
That was pretty wild. Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
wild. In 2 weeks, you're detaining people that are coming from China and Taiwan. Holy cow! Okay, okay. How did this even happen?
uh, uh, well, it started with me. It was a Friday afternoon. Yeah, I was the shop chief. I had the duty guy, and the ops boss comes down and says, "Hey, chief, I need the name of a swimmer for a mission." And I, playing 20 questions. Well, what is it about? Blah, blah, blah. He goes, "I can't tell you. I can't tell you. I can't tell you all these questions." He goes, "It's classified." And I said, "Okay." I got, one guy, I think he was hurt, one guy off going, one guy on duty. Uh, Basically, I was the only guy available. So I'm going, "It's me." He goes, "Get a beeper." So I get a beeper, and he goes, "If it goes off, got a half hour, get to base." Well, goes off, get to base. We take off and land on a Venturous as a 210, just like the ship I was stationed on, only not as nice. And I get off,
That's because you weren't there to
and I
take
get,
care of it as a non-rate. I got you.
yeah,
I got you,
that's right.
Brad.
Yeah, so I get off the helicopter and I go up and I said, "Hey, how you doing? I'm a swimmer. I'm Chief Brad Torrens. Where do you want me?" And the guy like kind of freaks out. He's like, "Chief, we didn't know Chief was coming. They never told us Chief was coming." And it's like when you're on a ship, the chief is like the all knowing. Go ask the chief. You know. So uh, so I had to sleep in the chief's mess where all the chiefs live, and that they get their food served to them and everything separate. And it was full because I had two INS agents sleeping down there. And I get down there, one of you got to go. So they kicked one out, maybe both, I forget. They kicked one of them out, gave me his rack. And then basically they took the Chinese boats down. Uh, I was in CIC, Summit, Combat Information Center. I was in the CIC. I was like, being an aviation guy and then being a ship guy, we speak two different languages.
Yeah.
So they would ask, if they didn't understand something, they'd look at me and tell them what it was. Like, for instance, like a pilot would say, "Tally ho." That means I see it. And the
Yep.
boat guy would go, "Hmm."
I don't know what that
So,
means.
stuff like that. So that was my job. And then when we took them down, uh, and during the takedown, it was really cool. I wasn't flying. They didn't need me in the airplane, so they left me. And uh, I saw I was watching from the bridge, and the Chinese boat's going, and the helicopter is like right in his face, like feet, and they're going backwards, like the helo's flying backwards. I mean, some serious flying. And
Wow.
finally, the boat stopped. I mean, the rotor blades were within feet of this guy.
Holy
That's some serious
jeez.
flying. So they get taken down, and then I got nothing to do. I'm there. I got nothing to do. So they said, "No, Chief, you're in charge of the prisoners." So they put me on the Chinese boat. You're a senior guy. You put me on the Chinese boat and gave me a 9 millimeter, and said, "Keep the safety off." Okay. So we took, and they gave me like three guys. So I was in charge of these three guys, and we had the three prisoners we kept them on the bow, and I told the immigration guy, the translator, I said, "Tell those three guys that if they cross that expansion joint, which is like a metal strip across the bow, that I will shoot them." And so he told them, and being from China and their government and us from our government, they assumed we pretty much meant what we said. So I didn't
Yes.
have any problems. And I had to sleep in the captain's cabin. And it was like those Chinese boats, I swear their doors are like 5 feet high. I had to walk around, and then sleeping in his rack. I had to sleep like in a fetal position. But it was interesting. They
Damn,
wanted
what
a
a trip.
swimmer because this organization had a reputation of throwing their cargo overboard. So
Okay.
they had a good possibility of having people in the water.
And that was
And
the,
they,
oh, but in case they end up throwing the people overboard, you're there
yeah,
to go get them. Oh my
exactly.
gosh. Wow.
So the conditions these people were living in, it was a fishing boat, and they were living in the hold, and it was horrific. Smell was unbelievable. It was horrific. But
Wow.
these people are living, are so desperate. This was before all this, modern, seal the border and everything. This was back in the 90s. They were paying big money to come over here, and they'd be, from what I was told, they'd be like indentured servants until they're $40,000 or whatever it is they paid or had to pay.
Wow.
That was paid off. So I guess the Chinese mafia, and there's a whole little illegal thing, obviously, but
Yeah.
it was pretty cool.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, it's not awesome, but it's wow, what a story. It's it's so cool to me what the Coast Guard does. It really is. I it's one of the things I really enjoyed about like being in and all the different jobs that we had to do. It's not just search and rescue. It's not just law enforcement. It's not just fishery. It's all of it. So, but anyway,
I was told one time, a long time ago, that if only like 10% of the people in the United States even know about the Coast Guard.
yeah,
They think we're like the local fire department. Everybody's got one.
yeah,
And it's weird.
yeah.
But hey, I'm good with it. They pay me.
Yeah.
It's a cool job.
I had fun. I had a good time while I was in. So who knew? Yeah. So, oh, that's good. One more thing that you did while you were in San Diego, I've got one more award for you. And it was after this deployment. And this is what this award is here. Citation to accompany the award of the Coast Guard Achievement Medal, Gold Star in lieu of second, to Bradley J. Torrens, Chief Aviation Survivalman, United States Coast Guard. Chief Petty Officer Torrens is cited for superior performance of duty on the morning of 7 January 1993 while serving as rescue swimmer aboard 865-6571, engaged in the rescue of 3 persons from the rising floodwaters of the Tijuana River. Following several days of extremely heavy rainfall, the river had suddenly flooded the surrounding valley area, and the Coast Guard helicopter was launched to locate and assist persons in distress. Despite ceilings as low as 100 feet and visibility occasional near zero in heavy rain and fog, the aircraft proceeded to the flooded valley and located a woman and her 2 children who were trapped in their mobile home. Chief Petty Officer Torrens was lowered into the raging flood waters upstream of the mobile home. He struggled in the raging river for over 20 minutes as he carried the victims one at a time to the hoist area. Once on board, Chief Petty Officer Torrens assisted the flight mechanic in treating the victims for hypothermia as they were flown to the awaiting ambulance. Chief Petty Officer Torrens' diligence, perseverance, and devotion to duty are most heartily commended and are in keeping with the highest traditions of the United States Coast Guard. Hoorah! Well done, Brad.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. The Tijuana River flood. That was fun. We I mean, you heard the thing. The weather was real crappy, and we flew out there, and we get over this lady's trailer, and they're on the porch, and the trailer's floating. It's not floating away, but it's floating. And I got one of them. I was like chest deep, and got one. I think the youngest one. Brought her over to the helicopter, hoisted her up, went back, got the mom. I think I took the mom second, got her in the helo, and then the boy. He was a teenager. He was a little heavy, and I thought I was going to throw my back out carrying him, but I got him in there. We get him in the helo. We fly back, and we were landing on I-5. If you're familiar with the Tijuana River border, the Tijuana American border, it's like I-5 is like 8 lanes across one way and 8 lanes across the other way. It's huge. And we were landing, and flight makes clearing this way and left, and I'm looking back and clearing the tail, and we're coming down, and we're about 30 feet, and this car comes out of nowhere doing about 90. I mean, that's an exaggeration, but he was going as fast as he could, and he was coming right at us, and he wasn't about to stop. And I'm like, up, the car's coming, and pulled up, and he went right under us.
Wow!
I don't know what kind of crazy man was that, but it was nuts. It was nuts. So after that, we went back to the base.
Pretty easy, no big deal. Just another day in the office. Hey guys, what's for lunch?
Yeah.
I just hey, it's raining outside. Don't worry about running outside today. Brad.
I do when it's weird because after I retired, maybe I'll go over that a little bit, I guess. After I left San Diego, I went back to Cape May and settled in there for my third tour. And Cape May it wasn't as busy as my first tour, but it's still pretty steady.
Okay. Well, convenient enough, steady, you say. You earned
Business is good.
probably your biggest award of your career was earned here, and that's this one right here. Citation to accompany the award of the Air Medal to Bradley J. Torrens, Chief Aviation Survivalman, United States Coast Guard. Chief Petty Officer Torrens is cited for meritorious achievement in aerial flight on the afternoon of 8 October 1996 while serving as rescue swimmer aboard Coast Guard helicopter 6501, responding to a distress call for assistance from the sailing vessel Sun Tanner. The aircrew quickly located the vessel, battered by severe surf, near Cape Henlopen, Delaware. A Delaware Bay pilot boat attempted to assist the stricken vessel, but retreated to safety after nearly capsizing in violent surf. Due to a web of rigging and the violent swinging of the sail's mast, delivery of the rescue basket to the vessel was not feasible. The difficult decision was made to remain overhead and await the arrival of the 44-foot motor lifeboat. Unexpectedly, one of the crewmen was washed overboard as the vessel was hit broadside with a 15-foot wave. Within seconds, Chief Petty Officer Torrens prepared for a direct deployment delivery to the pounding surf. Fighting severe currents, crashing waves, and the victim was struggling to breathe, Chief Petty Officer Torrens successfully prepared the victim and completed a safe recovery. While determining the best method to recover the second victim, another series of cresting 15-foot waves hit and rolled the sailing vessel, sending the remaining victim into the violent surf. Chief Petty Officer Torrens was again lowered into the tumultuous surf. The consistent agitation of the sea submerged the swimmer and the victim with regularity, making recovery extremely dangerous. Chief Petty Officer Torrens' actions and skills were instrumental in the rescue of two people. His courage, judgment, and devotion to duty are most heartily commended and are in keeping with the highest traditions of the United States Coast Guard. Yeah, buddy. Oh, Brad, what the? You know, Brad, I love reading these things. I absolutely love it. But, there's a lot of that when I read it. I'm like, are you kidding me? And at the same time, I'm like, holy shit, this actually happened. Walk us through it, brother. What was that day like?
I guess a hurricane was coming up the East Coast. It was downgraded to a tropical storm. We were standing by. We had that May day, and so we launched out. Went to like the citation said, we went there to stand by, and because man, being a human pinata on a sailboat is not fun. You know that.
No,
And
no, it's not.
so we're standing by. We're not far offshore, but there's like a shoal, so the waves just like build up. And that one boat, the civilian boat, it retreated, and they had a 44-foot motor lifeboat coming out of Indian River, Delaware. For people who don't know, they're the ones that self-right. They came out, and they were like, "It's going to take us forever." And then the Coast Guard were just getting the 47-foot motor lifeboats to replace the 44s, so the 47s can flip over too. So they have a prototype. Cape May had one of the 5 prototypes. So Cape May's coming out, and they got beat down so bad. They were coming out, and they call it a knockdown. They go 90 degrees, they come back up 90 degrees, and they kept getting knocked down. And then they had it's called a D deck. A D deck failure controls the engines or something. Don't ask me how I know this stuff. I'm a wealth of useless information. But they had D deck failure, and they lost their engines. So they were out of the fight. and we were waiting for the 44 to come down. And they do in that kind of weather, it'll take them an hour or two, 2 hours. And I'm sitting there, I'm geared up, and I'm on ICS, and the pilot's like, he's in the water. And I was like, flight mech hooked up. I was out the door, going down. Ray Ellis was a flight mech. I think it was his first case, one of his first cases. And he put me right on him. I got him, brought him back up. It was pretty bad. We were getting beat up pretty good.
bad. Listen
Went
to
up,
you, like all
got back in
nonchalant,
there.
15-foot waves cresting, blowing people off the side of a boat. It was kind of rough out there. Yeah, it was a tough day. Listen to you.
That's what I went, I guess. So, I got him in the plane, left her on the boat. She was panicking, but she was on the radio. She was staying comms with the co-pilot, and so I get him, trying to check him out, and I just put my helmet back on, and I'm on ICS, and I hear she's in the water, and I threw my helmet into this guy's chest. His name was Tom. Her husband is a husband wife. Threw my helmet in Tom's chest. Get my stuff back on. I'm out the door, going down. Ray gets me in pretty close, gets me on top of her. I snag her. We're doing a direct deployment, which is I stay attached, and I have the rescue strap. I wrap it around her, cinch it up so we're both snug together. And my head is, next to her ear. I'm behind her. I'm trying to get situated, and we're going up and up and up because the waves are steep. So we're going up and up and up. Next thing you know, I got a quick strap in one hand and my stuff, and an empty rescue hook in the other. And I'm like, oh, holy
no.
I'm like, real quick. So we were still on our way up. So I went, got her on, and snugged her up. And then I her name's Carol. I just talk to her like we do this every day, like I'm talking to you now. It's like, you were going home. No, we do this all the time. You're going to be all right. Don't worry. Your husband's up there. Your other guy's up there, and got her in the plane. And she apparently was thrown through between the solar panel and like some rigging. So she says, she hurt her neck. So obviously we had the ambulance waiting. So they, we dropped them off, turned the plane around, and they a couple months later, a month later, I get a letter in the mail. Oh, I told the guys in the shop, I said, clean up all their gear, and mail it back to them. So they did that, and they sent me a letter of appreciation back. I still have it to this day, with a picture of the three daughters and a nice letter of thanks. And I still have it this day because, when you're like totally aggravated at your job or whatever, and you're like, I'm done with this crap, I would read that letter. It just brings me probably back down.
Oh my gosh.
What else? Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. That was just like another day at the office. Turn the plane around.
Brad.
Rinse your stuff off.
Wow.
Yeah, it was intense. I would have went on the boat, but man, I wouldn't want to be lowered to that boat. Sailboats suck as far as
yeah. Oh, they're awful. I actually, I was given a good little piece of advice not too long ago, and that was that if you're ever, and this is for anybody that does this now, like a little training tip that I learned. So I'm passing this on to you right now. Okay. Is that if you can get the sailboat underway and have them drop that drogue line behind, do a direct deployment to the drogue line, but stay connected to the helicopter, but get to that drogue line, because then you can bring yourself up and you can maintain control. So as soon as you grab the railing, now you drop over and disconnect all at the same time. So I was like, wow, that's actually a really good idea.
I don't know if I ever get the opportunity.
Yeah. So, wow. So, holy cow. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that, Brad.
Oh,
I shout out one more thing too. I would love to hear that letter, by the way. Brad was nice enough to share the letter with me, and I'm excited that I get to read parts of the letter for you guys. Here's some of what it says. Dated 11/15/96. Dear Brad, we received the package with our items that were left in the helicopter. Thanks. That was way over and above the call of duty, to say the least. We are fine. Carol still has some problems with her shoulder, but is getting better consistently. Skipping a little further into page 2. Again, thanks so much for your life-saving efforts and interest in our well-being. We will display the patches aboard the Sun Tanner as a permanent reminder of our good fortune. Brad, I would like to thank you personally myself for saving our lives. Enclosed is a picture of my 3 daughters, who are very thankful for their mom's safe return. I would like very much to keep in touch and write you in the future. Would you be willing to give us your home address so that we may do so? For me, life has taken on a new meaning. Until that day, October 8th, 1996, I took a lot of things in life for granted. Today, I appreciate all that I have, and I live each day to the fullest. I thank you and your crew for a second chance. Happy holidays to you all. Gratefully yours, Carol and Tom. So this made it into the local paper in Cape May. So Coast Guard rescues 2 stuck on the boat. A New Hampshire man and woman are rescued via helicopter during Tuesday's storm after they were knocked from their mastless sailboat into the ocean. And that's just the headline. And then it goes in to talk about the rescue in 15-foot waves. 20 minutes later, the helicopter shows up and boom, there you are. Oh, Brad. What a story. Holy cow.
yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
I also got to give a shout out to the pilots. I mean, Ray was awesome. I already gave a shout out to him, but Commander Neil and Commander Bean, Neil just came out of Kodiak, so it wasn't a big deal to him. I'm saying it wasn't a big deal, but I wasn't worried about having those 2 up front. They're awesome, awesome pilots. We get the best pilots in the world. I don't care who you say. I mean, we get military service has the best pilots, but the Army guys, when they come, a direct commissioned aviator, though, when they come out of the Army and, they become Coast Guard pilots and they transition, the first 6 months are kind of scary because they're good pilots. They're awesome pilots, but flying 10 foot above trees at 160 knots is a lot different than hovering over a sailboat in 15-foot seas. But once they get locked in, man, they're rock solid. They're rock solid.
Yeah. Agreed. Confirmed. I concur. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Brad, I gotta tell you, man, that story is just like well done to you and your entire crew. Like I can't say thank you enough for sharing that with us. What an amazing story. So 2 people are alive because of you guys today, and that's awesome. So that's why we do this job. It's why I love this job so much. The good, the bad, but that good, it's incredible. Good job. So
thanks. Yeah. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. We're going to divert real quick to thank our sponsors. Ready Bar, originally made for astronauts, now designed for first responders and built for you. This high-performance meal bar provides complete nutrition without the sugar crash. A must-have for any helmet bag, swimmer bag, or everyday pack. Get yours today at getreadybar.com and use the promo code RESQ10 for 10% off. Ready Bar, zero crash, all fuel. I'm going to bring you to one more award that you got out of Cape May. And this is kind of the last bit of your flying side of your career. And what it is you end up going down and pretty much running the entire event of of Katrina when everybody started coming out. So let me read the award, and then I would love your perspective of this, because I've talked to a lot of the guys that were down in Katrina that responded down there, and like the stuff that they saw, but you had to lead them. So here we go. Citation to accompany the award of the Coast Guard Combination Medal, Gold Star in lieu of second, to Bradley J. Torrens, Senior Chief Aviation Survival Technician, United States Coast Guard. Senior Chief Petty Officer Torrens is cited for outstanding achievement while serving as Aviation Survival Technician, Shop Leading Chief at Aviation Training Center at ATC Mobile, Alabama, from September 2004 to January 2006. Displaying superior organization skills, he expertly directed 63 ASTs, 3 times his normal workforce, in the wake of Hurricane Katrina, the largest search and rescue recovery operation in Coast Guard history. Recognizing the magnitude of the demanding rescue operation, he immediately developed a methodical tracking in-briefing system that assisted work shifts and met the logistical supports needed for rotating a pool of ASTs from around the nation. Due to his leadership throughout the arduous Katrina recovery, Senior Chief Petty Officer Torrens' teams remained mentally and physically ready around the clock, able to meet the myriad of extraordinary challenges, resulting in over 4,800 lives saved. Identifying the need for rescuers to access rooftops, extract survivors trapped in the attic spaces, he quickly implemented standard procedures for the innovative use of axes and battery-powered saws that were critical in the successful rescue efforts. As the shop leading chief, Senior Chief Petty Officer Torrens was instrumental in ATC's operational and training missions, ensuring assigned crews and the continuous stream of student pilots were outfitted and trained in every facet of aircraft egress, water survival, and rescue swimmer procedures. His leadership of 20 shop personnel in support of 17 rotary and fixed-wing aircraft was critical to the successful support on an average of 14 sorties per day, including both helicopters operation and the HU-25 airdrop missions. Senior Chief Petty Officer Torrens' dedication, judgment, and devotion to duty are most heartily commended and are in keeping with the highest traditions of the United States Coast Guard. Man, what a great end of tour award that is. That's awesome. So let's bring us into Katrina a little bit. How did that work for you?
Katrina, the Super Bowl of SARS, as they say.
The Super Bowl of SARS, yes,
no,
it was.
I was stationed there. I got transferred out of ATTC, the rescue swimmer school, out of Elizabeth City. I transferred to Mobile, and so I was there. I was the shop chief. It's not like I went there because of Katrina. The day I checked in, there was a I think it was a Cat 3 coming in, and I checked in the OD, and he's like, "What are you doing here?" Oh, it's pouring rain, so I got till midnight to check in. He signs it, says, "Get out of here." So I called my buddy Kevin. He's a Huntsville firefighter, and said, "Hey man, I gotta evacuate." He goes, "Come on up." I haven't seen Kevin. He's a Coast Guard buddy too. He's in the Coast Guard. Was in the Coast Guard. And he said, "Come on up, man. Come on up, brother." And so we drove 6 hours to Huntsville, and stayed there. And then there was 2 or 3 hurricanes between that. There was 4 hurricanes, tropical storms. I did 19 months there. So
wow.
Katrina was coming in. I actually said, well, my 2 sons were living with me. I said, we're gonna stay here. I think it's gonna hit the west of us. We'll be good. So Mobile took a hard hit. And believe me, It took a hard hit. So Katrina comes in. I wasn't at work. I drove into work later. It was dark. I guess Mobile shuts the power grid down. So all these power lines are laying all over the roads at the intersections, and the cops were stopping. And you had to show your ID. I was in uniform. I still had to show my ID. Like 3 times to get to the airstay, get there. And it was eerie, dark. It was eerie, quiet. And I'm there for maybe 20 minutes, I guess. First of all, it was so dark I couldn't even see. Like I almost ran in and busted my head on the oxygen cart. I get in the
Oh,
shop, we're under
jeez.
emergency lights, and then the helos start coming in. And this is before the levees broke. The helos start coming in, dropping off people, and these people start coming into my shop. I got no EMT gear. Everybody's flying. The shop's picked clean of all the gear, right? Because they're
Yeah.
flying SAR. And so I start triaging these people. Nothing serious. Uh, and the helos, you know, basically they were H-60s from Clearwater. Clearwater
Okay.
followed the hurricane in, right? When it went under, tropical storm limits, went in. They were picking people out from Slidell and, Mississippi and stuff like that. And that place was wiped out too. That was bad. That's only like 30 miles from our house. They were bringing these people in, and uh, I was doing that. And then medical shows up, and then they took over that. And then I was helping uh, some lieutenant who I didn't know do air traffic controls, management, not AATC stuff, but
Yeah.
ramp stuff, by radio, and it was it was nuts. It was totally nuts. The helos started coming in, then like the, the day two, guys started showing up. Guys like, "Hey, senior, I'm here. Where do I fly? Where do I go?" I mean, from like everywhere.
Did you know they were
They,
coming?
I'm sure somebody knew they were coming, but a lot of them, some of them didn't even have orders. They just got their stuff, told the chief, or they're leaving, and this is what I hear. I don't know for fact, but some of them didn't have orders. Orders are on the way, but that's the way we roll.
Yeah.
We take care of
Yeah.
business,
Yep.
take care
Yep.
of business, and then
I
you
so
know,
I remember. So I was up in Humboldt Bay when that happened, and I specifically remember like the message coming out from Master Chief Dyer, like every available swimmer get down there now, and he just asked for everybody. So
yeah,
I wish I had gone, and at
yeah,
the same time, nah, I wish I had been there. Yeah, I do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah. So like day two, guys started coming in, and day three is coming in, and like at night, and I had this whiteboard. They were talking about that status board. I had this whiteboard. It's probably about 3 feet by 4 feet, and I had it all. It was just I was winging it because man, it's like we weren't trained for this. Like guys are just coming out of everywhere. So I had, I had everything under control. It's organized chaos, and had that going. After I forget when the levees broke. I think it was day three. I'm not sure the time. Man, I'll tell you, when you're sleepless, it all blurs together. You focus on getting the mission done, but I just kept going. I slept in my office. Uh, as things started getting a little more organized, about 4 or 5, the Master Chiefs are coming, Dyers, Butch Blythe, uh, uh, Jimmy Brandt. He was already in Mobile, but they had to, they were divvying up the responsibilities of logistics and supply. And so, yeah, it was like game on, man. It was game on. And then people would start giving us, like, ladies would bring cakes into the shop and pies. And yeah, it's just, just like a community that's bringing stuff
Yeah.
into my shop. They bring it into like the tweet shop and where there was room. So there's always food. Most of it was like sugar, but the first couple of days and operations was knocked out of commission. All the windows were blown out. The radio room was messed up. And they set up shop in the galley, in the barracks. So ops was in the barracks. So I'd be walking from my shop to the barracks, find out what's going on, what they needed, walk back and forth, all day long. And then they moved that over to the tweet shop. It's hard to remember some of that stuff.
How long were you there for?
Decontamination.
Were you there operating and pretty much leading all the guys throughout the entire event, beginning to end?
Uh, at first I was controlling. all the guys coming in. I had that big whiteboard. And then when we got more organized, then operations took over, and they had a flight schedule. So, you five guys, you're on this crew, go to sleep, go to sleep.
Yeah.
You're flying here, go to sleep, see you in the morning. You're flying in 5 hours, and it worked out pretty good. The coolest thing I wish I had a picture of is my shop, and there's rescue swimmer bags because we're all pretty standard rescue swimmer bags, all the way around. It's like it was just it's just the coolest thing.
Yeah.
And then after like a week, we split it up. My two chiefs. Oh, after like a week of flying, I told the two chiefs to work for me. I said, yeah, you're fun. You're done. You know, now you got to work. Now you got to be in the shop. So I took over nights. It wasn't took over nights. I worked nights, the shift, and they ran the shop during the day, and it worked out pretty good.
Good. Wow. What a trip.
Man, it was my twilight tour, and I tell you what, going out on a bang, that was it. That was it.
Well, Brad, I'll tell you what, man, it's one way to go out and not only going out on top with such an amazing career and an amazing rescue case, but to lead that and to watch all the guys that came in from all over and everything and I'm bringing this up because you were there at the very beginning. Yeah. But how much it had grown in the time that you came in, no swimmer program, to you are witnessing Katrina. You are now in charge of all of these swimmers that are coming in, selecting and directing and organizing everything like right off the get-go.
Man, you're making me feel good.
Yeah. Well, but think about it, right? So something that was never even in your thought, you said it earlier in the beginning, is like, it wasn't a thought that anybody even crossed anyone's mind. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, no, you are going to do this, or you need to find another job, to then you leading the biggest search and rescue mission ever that the Coast Guard had done, the Super Bowl SR, and you're running it.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
The one thing awesome. I got to say, all these and the air crews are coming from everywhere too. I mean, they were just flying in from everywhere.
Yeah.
But you got the air crews, you got an H-60 fly in, and then this swimmer that they've never seen before hops on, and the very beginning, they're like, no, we want our swimmer that we came with. And we're like, no, you're getting him. And it took, we're all trained the same.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, and it worked out pretty good. But, when you train with swimmers in your unit, you click, you're glued together, you're meshed.
Right.
And then you get this, crazy Ivan that hops in your plane from, you're from East City, he's from Houston, in a totally different helicopter. They're like, we don't like this. But didn't take long to realize, man, everything works, everything clicks. Man, the Coast Guard is like a well-oiled machine.
Very much so. It's
even though it doesn't
statement. Sometimes, all right.
I had to put that caveat in.
That's funny. That's funny. It truly, that whole event was it brought the true meaning of standardization to the forefront. And what the Coast Guard does, I can't speak for all the other services. I've been around some of the other services. I've seen some things that are done different, especially like, I'll say National Guard. One guard unit does it one way, another guard unit does it another way. I know that's very different, but the Coast Guard has got that dialed in, right? And mad props to the standardization team and everybody that runs that to make sure that everybody's doing it the same way, so that when that event happens, you can pull a guy from every station, every unit, get on that aircraft and go to work, and everybody's speaking the same language. It's awesome. It is awesome. So But
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah, it's incredible.
damn.
And we were like not well known before Katrina. You know
Right.
what I mean? If you're
Yep.
local to a Coast Guard base, yeah, they know you. Or if you've been rescued by the Coast Guard base, Coast Guard crews, and but now it's like headline news every day. And we learned a lot too. And we're urban SAR, we didn't do that,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know. But cliff rescue, yeah. Forestry rescue, yeah.
It's
I
amazing to
know
see how the program has progressed in all this time. Yeah.
and I still I have coffee with some guys that are in the know on Friday. So I get to, get some hints, stuff that they're allowed to tell me. So I'm still a little bit in it. I don't miss it because I used to have a thing. You'll love this. I used to in Atlantic City. We were pretty busy, and being a shop chief, it's like I had a game that like I play with the new guys. You get a new guy just out of school, and if I had duty and the SAR alarm went off, you know how that you got that 10 seconds before they tell you what it is.
Uh huh.
The SAR alarm goes off. I go to one of them. I said, "Is your gear ready? And do you want it?" And they got to tell me before we know what it is. Because if it's a good case, it's a good case. If it's a bad case, it's a bad case.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
I do that every once in a while. I flew enough SAR. I could care less. I mean, I was, well, what we call it, rusted out.
Yeah, yeah, a
You
little
know,
bit, a little like not
yeah,
burnout, but maybe a little burnout, maybe.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's
just
all good. I know that when I got stationed at the AST school, rescue swimmer school in East City, as the school chief, I interviewed with Butch Fleiss, Master Chief. Oh, he's the senior chief then, and I went there and I realized when I got on the hangar deck training these guys, uh, I'm like, man, I don't have any stress. I'm giving stress. I'm not getting it. You know what I mean?
yes, I do.
It's like I don't have to worry about my guys dying. I don't have to worry about me dying. I got 4 EMTs on the hangar deck. I mean, on the pool deck, and it was kind of enlightening. And we
Oh,
did 4 years there. That was a good tour.
man, your whole career has been absolutely incredible. I'm
Mm.
so glad that you had an opportunity to like come hang out with me, and I'm glad you took time to come hang out with me. Are you kidding me? This is fantastic. I can't thank you enough for joining me. I'll tell you what.
I appreciate
We're
it, Jason.
of course. We're gonna close it out real quick, but before I let you go, is I would love to ask you one piece of advice that you would pass on to everybody still doing the job. 28
Mhm.
years in the U.S. Coast Guard. That's an incredible feat. I know most people most of the guys I know hit 20, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm out. You went 8 more
Yeah.
years. Nice job."
Uh, my piece of advice is just about life, and now it's a poem, and I'll read it to you because it changed my life.
Sweet.
It says, "Do it anyway." People are often unreasonable, illogical, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse me of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are successful, you win some false friends and some true enemies. Succeed anyway. If you are honest and frank, people may cheat you. Be honest and frank anyway. What you spend years building, someone could destroy overnight. Build anyway. If you find serenity and happiness, they may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today, people will often forget tomorrow. Do good anyway. Give the world the best you have, and you may never have enough, and you get kicked in the teeth. Give the world the best you have, best you've got anyway. You see, in the final analysis, it's between you and God. It was never between you and them anyway.
It's good stuff, Brad.
Words to live by.
I love it. Brad, thank you
That's
so much for coming on and joining with me and sharing your amazing career. all the
Oh,
stories
thanks.
that we get. Yeah, we had today.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay.
So,
That's from Mother Teresa.
is it
That's
really?
from her
Oh, I
writings
like that.
from Mother Teresa. Yeah. So
Oh,
if
that's
anybody wants to
great.
look it up, yeah. Yeah, it's when was going through some really, really tough times. Uh, my my XO at AST graduation read that poem, and I'm like, man, that hit me right there. And I read it when I'm going through really tough times, and that letter that they sent me. Thanks for having me, man.
Oh, Brad, it was absolutely my pleasure. I thank you so much for just taking time to come record with me and share your stories, your whole career. It's awesome. So,
Yeah,
um,
you know, it was kind of tough for me
yeah,
to do this, to talk about that stuff. But that's good. It's good. It helped me, and I also did it for my three kids because doing what I did, doing what we did. I never said anything about what we did. They knew I flew search and rescue. You know, that's all they knew. They knew they've been to the air station, they've been to the parties, but any of this stuff, they don't know nothing about. My daughter, uh, after the after the Perfect Storm movie came out, she lives in San Diego. She called me up crying. She
that's
said,
awesome,
"Daddy, don't
man.
you do that anymore." Sorry, getting emotional here. Okay, Jason.
Brad, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. When I get to North Carolina, I'm going to come to the farm and you're going to put me to work. Okay?
Oh, definitely. At least come to the farm. You know how to operate a
Yes,
Z
sir.
mower,
I can learn. I can learn.
tractor. I got it all. Yeah.
All right. Right on. Brad, thank you again. You have a wonderful night and I'll be in touch very soon.
Okay, Jason. Have a blessed week.
You as well. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. Go. Now it's time for me to pull chocks and take off. But before I go, I'm always looking for the memorable rescues that people have done. If you have one that you're willing to share or know somebody who has a story, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to highlight it here at the Real Rescue. For everybody that is standing by for that SAR alarm, remember, those in distress are praying for a miracle. They are going to get you. So until next time, fly safe and swim hard.
My funniest training story is when we were going online with the rescue swimmer program. We were all new. We were training morning, noon, and night. A day flight, a morning flight, two day flights, and a night flight. And back then, since since they didn't know what we were capable of, neither did we. We always had to have a LR1 life raft, little one-man raft, and the safety boat be out there. So we're out there. It's like a third flight of the day, and it's nighttime, and we're floating around, and like I'm on one side of the raft like this, and my other guy, the other swimmer's on the other side, and we're floating around, and it's pitch dark out. It's pitch black out, and he's like, "Hey, Brad," and he's from Iowa, so he's not familiar with the ocean. He's like, "Hey, Brad, uh, now let me digress a little bit. Early the afternoon flight, we saw a bunch of dolphins swimming. Okay, so
Okay.
at nighttime we're there. Hey, Brad, you mind if I sit in the raft?" I said, "No, go ahead." So, he's sitting in the raft, we're talking, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting there like this, and I put my knee on his butt, and I put my fin up on the other side of the raft, and he almost come out of his skin. Get this big old black fin come out. He denies it
Oh,
happened,
that's
but
funny.
yeah.
Oh
I
my
never told
gosh.
Marcus
That's
story,
awesome.
did I? Yeah.
No. All right, you want to share it now?
I'll share it now. Yeah. I told you already, but in San Diego, I just get qualified. I just got, requalified in the plane. We did a day flight, we're flying, and we have I spot a pod of orca whales, killer whales. And I'm like, they don't come down here this far, do they? And the pilots are like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, no big deal. So we're out there at nighttime. They lower me in the water because you don't jump at night, right? And I release the cable and I start kicking my fins, and all the water lights up white underneath me. And all I could figure is the weight of a orca whale. I'm going to die right now. And I just pull my legs up like a big ball, and I said, take all of me, man. And what it was bioluminescence. I've never seen it before. And so after I figured out what it was, I'm like, oh yeah. So playing while they fly around, they leave me out there. So that was my orca story.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Brad, thank you so much. I appreciate it, man.